as I should have known. It can lose you all to sleep at night. 12-bar blues is now alright. Now it's up to you, try and find a reason to rock and roll in every song, rock and roll in everyone. It's rock and roll and rock and rock and roll.
Rock and roll, the latest hit from Status Quo, who apart from 17 consecutive chart singles, can also boast an unbroken run of 12 consecutive top 5 albums. This year, Quo celebrate its 20 years since their first gig. It all began in 1962 when Alan Lancaster and Francis, or Mike as he preferred to be known in those days, Rossi, decided to form a group. With the help of a couple of other musicians, they started to do a few gigs, even though they were still at school. They used to rehearse in the Air Cadets headquarters in Dulwich, the same place used by an aspiring drummer, one John Coghlan, who they quickly snapped up. Under the name The Spectres, they built up a local following, but it wasn't until the 18th of July, 1966, that a record deal was made. Their first single was a version of this song.
I will have nothing.
It wasn't a hit for them, and neither were their next 3 singles. In March 1967, the Spectres changed their name to Traffic. This was an unfortunate choice because Stevie Winwood had already chosen the name for his group. So by November 1967, they were pressurised into another name change. They chose Status Quo. Their 5th single was a hit. It climbed to number 7 in the charts. It was this one. On the 18th of January 1968, Rick Parfitt joined Status Quo. His first single with them did absolutely nothing, but the next one did. How many of you remember Ice in the Sun?
I like ice in the sun, I love the way, whenever she comes, I love the way, I like ice in the sun, I melt away.
Sun, a top 10 hit in 1968. But the following year was a bad one for Quo. There were no hits, and by the end of 1969, they seemed to be on a downward slide. At a time when many other groups would have given up, somehow Quo hung on. A change of image brought a change of fortune. They threw away their stage clothes and became the denim-clad foursome we know and love today. They started to build up a strong following and created renewed interest with singles like Down the Dustpipe and In My Chair, which were minor hits. But 18 months later came the single that proved to be the turning point for Quo. Oh, great to hear that again. Paper Plane. Quo were now a force to be reckoned with. Working without a producer for the first time, they made the now legendary Piledriver album, which shot straight into the charts at number 5. By 1973, they were a well-established band in Europe, and by 1974 in Australia and Japan as well. Since then, there's been classic singles like Down Down, Caroline, Rockin' All Over the World, Roll Over, Lay Down, and this one.
Why don't you do it again? Again, 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 again. Why don't you do it? Why don't you do it again?
Again and again. Quo have never looked back. They sell out wherever they go. They've sold millions of records, and still they keep on rocking. After 20 years together, it came as a bit of a shock last week to learn that one of them was leaving. Does that mean we'll no longer hear classic sounds like this? I'll be talking to Rick Parfitt with a special competition in just a moment.
Whatever you want, whatever you like, whatever you say, you pay your money, you take your choice. Whatever you need, whatever you use, whatever you win, whatever you lose. You're showing up, you're showing up. You look for trouble, turn around, give me a shot. I'm taking it all, you sweep me dry. There's nothing you couldn't even think about.
Oh, whatever you want there. time we've met this morning, you've just got here 5 hours on the motorway.
isn't it?
5 hours on the motorway, I'm going to get it. Hang on, kids, a top pop star's talking. Right. Rick, I was saying, we read various reports last week.
Hi, Mum.
Hello, everybody. We read various reports in the press last week about John leaving. Can we hear from you what exactly happened?
Well, we went out to Switzerland to record the new album, and I think John had genuinely had enough of what was happening. You know, he just didn't seem to have any enthusiasm anymore, and it really was apparent that he wanted to go home.
Yeah.
God, I'm tired.
Yeah.
So that was it. I mean, he just upped and left, and he was gone that day. So it left us in a bit of a predicament, you see, because we're starting an album, and there's nobody that played drums.
So what did you do?
Hold on. Excuse
Hi,
me,
mate.
camera 1, 2 and 3. I've got an important joke here from a little girl called Diane Spencer. She writes in saying, what's got blue blood, 4 legs and lives in a palace?
I don't know, what's got blue leg, 4 legs and lives in a palace?
A royal corgi. Well done, Diane, well done.
Rick, you were waxing elegant before that interruption. You were saying it did leave you in rather a bit of a spot, actually.
Yeah, well,
up and gone, yeah.
we knew of a drummer who we knew quite well, you know, and we knew how he played, a guy called Pete Kershaw.
Yeah.
And he was our first sort of choice to stand in and see us through the album, you know, so...
Will the sound change much on the album as a result, do you think?
No. So we phoned Pete. Pete came out and he completed the album with us, which was, you know, at such short notice, it was really good of him.
What about, you're planning a tour, I mean, it's 20 years, as we were saying, of celebrations, and you're planning a rather special tour, aren't you, this year? Where are you going to be going?
Well, rumour has it that we're going to be going to Australia, India. That's only rumour has it.
Rumour has it, yeah.
Nice. Australia, India, and then we come back to Europe, maybe Japan, maybe America.
And
I
of
don't
course,
know.
you,
And of course England.
and what are you going to do about finding a drummer? Are you looking at the moment?
Well, yeah, there is a short list.
Yeah.
Of 2 or 4 drummers, and hope to be able to make an announcement fairly soon. We can't say for sure at the moment.
No.
You know, of course.
We've talked about, I was talking earlier about the last 20 years. I mean, how many more years can Quo go rocking on?
I don't know. I always maintain that as long as, you know, we've got an audience there and we still feel physically fit enough to do it,
Yes.
as it were,
You'll carry on.
we'll carry on. Yeah.
Now,
Excuse
you
me.
bought some goodies.
Excuse me. Can I interrupt? Can I thank Mr. Parker for getting here?
Yes.
But I'm intrigued to know who the man in the mask is.
Who is the man in the mask?
My dad.
Hi, what's your name? Lee, it's Lee. Zeffirelli, it's Lee. Mr. Parker,
Hi, Lee.
having battled his way up the motorway, has bought some really good
Oh,
goodies. What have
as
you got
ever,
there? What
as
have you got?
ever.
It's good fun.
Well, jackets.
To a jacket,
Normal
yes.
jackets,
Lovely.
Things like that. There's the
Status Quo book.
book which will be signed. The gold album.
A gold album of Pile Driver, which I talked about in the tribute. There we are, gold album
old as well.
of Pile Driver. I tell you what, in the tribute, I actually... That's signed on the back. That's super. That's a lovely prize. Actually, in the tribute to Quo just now, I did actually reveal the date that Rick joined Status Quo. So can you actually write in with the date that Rick joined Status Quo? And can you think of another question that
You were
maybe-
wrong though, weren't you?
Was it the wrong date? According to your book, that's the date it said.
Oh, the book's wrong.
The book's wrong.
Take
Your
the notice of the
biography
book.
is wrong. Okay.
All right.
Then the real date that you joined, not the one that's in the book. Apparently that's wrong.
Parrot.
Entries to our user address, which will be coming up millions.
Don't do it,
during the
he's a
morning.
superstar! Stop it!
So, well, actually, thankfully we can leave this because I've just had word that something rather exciting is happening over the other side of the studio. Let's go straight across now to find out what is happening. Over to you, Heathers.
Good.
Over there.